Hey, what's good, people? It's Gabe Rosado here, along with me, Gallo, Abner. What's up, bro?
It's good, man.
Yeah, man. We're going to talk about the big rematch coming up between Bivol and Beterbiev. But before we do, we kind of want to talk a little bit about what Migallo means to us.
Migallo, right?
Migallo.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, what is Migallo? Migallo. That's my guy. That's the guy I'm rooting for, Migallo. So we both grew up in a culture of, fighting roosters, cockfights in Puerto Rico and Mexico, same thing.
Pause.
Yeah, pause.
We're going to keep it with roosters. Gallo.
Yeah, dude. Gallo, roosters.
But that's our culture.
It is.
I had to get you, dog.
We got it.
Yeah. So the roosters, right?
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, my father and my uncles, when there was a fight on TV, they would go, "That's Migallo, ese Migallo," where that's their fighter, that's the guy they're rooting.
But that's where it starts from. Obviously, the rooster fights. What used to be. There I used to be in Mexico, and you see them fighting. I'm like, hey, yo le voy a ese gallo, cuánto type of, and same thing. It transcends to boxing.
For sure.
Ese es mi gallo, ese es mi gallito, le voy a él. That's the guy I'm rooting for. So mi gallo.
And it's crazy because in Philly, the culture. I grew up in a predominantly Puerto Rican neighborhood where the old heads. That's what we call them in Philly, the old heads, right? They would have the gallos. And I would see them like sharpening the nails.
Oh, it's like they were like boxers.
Yeah,
they would train them like boxers,
and it was crazy. And some of those guys would be expensive.
Yeah, really expensive. They have sparring sessions. Believe me, without the little blades.
Yeah, for sure. It's wild. But that's the culture.
Yeah,
that's la cultura, man. So that's Migallo, pretty much.
Migallo is the guy you're going for, the top dog.
For sure. And it could be like, this is my boy, Migallo. It could be that too, right? So who's your Gallo going into this big rematch?
Against Beterbiev and Bivol. Oh, man.
It's a great fight.
It's a really good fight. The first one was, one of the top ones out there, really close. But I'm going with Beterbiev again.
Word?
Beterbiev again. I know. It's a tough. Bivol was great in that fight, but I love that aggression from Beterbiev. That's the style that I love watching. I love the technique that Beterbiev brings. I'm sorry, that Bivol brings, the distance, the jab, the 1-2. But I love Migallo. Migallo is a Beterbiev.
Migallo is Bivol.
Okay.
I think Bivol's gonna make adjustments, man. I think in the
he should. He better.
He's gonna... But you know what, man? Look, I think in the fight, right? It was very close. To me, it could have went either way.
It could have, yeah.
Right? But the difference that I saw was that Beterbiev was obviously a lot stronger because you would see when he would even hit Bivol in the arms, like he just moved Bivol.
Yeah.
And that Bivol was really concerned with that power and he was on his toes and he was moving. He always had that guard up, as he should, right? But I saw that Bivol was at least landing easier as far as popping the jab and quick combinations, and that looked good. I think in the rematch, Bivol is going to jab a little more. He's going to throw more combinations. And most importantly, I think he's going to be more focused mentally because he was dealing with some issues outside of the ring.
Yeah, I know. We all saw that.
It's a whole different thing that affects a fighter.
The extra mile. She was in wrong for that.
He was dealing with problems with his what do you
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at the situation, but I'm just laughing at the fact that she really went hard on him,
So is it still his wife, ex-wife?
I believe it's ex. Yeah, it's got to be ex.
The mother of his kids.
After that, I'm sure
she was just out there she was just out there talking about him, doing podcasts and things like that. And I don't care who you are, man. That's going to affect you.
How strong you are, mentally is going to affect you. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right. I think that had a big effect in Bivol, going into that fight. The mental part, the frustration, the anger. I mean, just everything that's going outside with the wife, throwing, shade at him, just basically bringing him down and talking smack about him. I get it. But I mean, once you go down to technique wise, yes, Bivol, I believe he's a better boxer, better fighter, the way he fights, the way he throws his punches. But again, it's what the fans and the judges like. I sometimes, and most of the times, I think the judges favor the pressure fighter, the guy that's always looking for the fight, the one that's constantly going forward and making turning it into a fight, and that's Beterbiev. I think that yes, Bivol will make the adjustments, and he will correct some things. but it's always that pressure. I think the hunger, the power from Beterbiev will be too much, brother.
It's not just the pressure. Is bro
the power. I mean, everything.
Bivol's power, you could tell, man. We know that punching comes from the legs. Yeah. You punch with your legs. Yeah. That dude got like tree stumps, bro. He got like tree stumps, bro.
And he can take a punch too.
And this dude throws a 6-inch punch and he'll move you.
Yeah.
Where when I remember when Bivol fought Canelo, it was almost like you could tell the difference in size.
Easy.
And you could tell
with
that
just a simple jab, boom.
Bivol was just it was there's a difference in weight classes. That's why we have weight
Canelo
classes.
is used to hitting his opponents and his arms, breaking them down.
And it did nothing to Bivol.
Yeah.
But when you saw Beterbiev doing the same things, it was a big difference.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how dangerous is that dude Beterbiev, bro? Yeah.
So you sounding like you're going for Bivol now. I'm sorry, Beterbiev.
No. My thing is this. I think that they're cut from that same cloth, right? Okay. I think they have different styles, though.
Yeah,
and I think in order to beat a guy like Beterbiev, you gotta, Bivol knows that style. He grew up with that style. You know what I'm saying? He's very familiar with it. So to anyone else, it's like, that dude's a problem as far as Beterbiev. But Bivol knows how to adjust to that. You understand what I'm saying? It's a little different for him.
And he did in the first fight. A lot of people thought he won.
Yeah.
Again, you're talking about the everything that he got outside of the fight, frustration and all that, the problems. So I can see him making the adjustments. But at the end of the day, I feel, again, I'm sticking with mi gallo, and that's Beterbiev.
Okay, man. Look, man, I think it's...
We'll talk after the fight.
I think
we'll see. Power or technique. Technique can take you so far.
Yeah, man.
You know that?
But you know what, though? I think...
You can't have a game plan. What did Mike Tyson used to say?
But once you get punched in the mouth, it's a wrap. Everybody got a game plan and you get hit in the mouth, it's over. It's real tough, man. This fight is huge because it's a unification. You know what I'm saying? It's the top, the head honcho, man. And obviously, Beterbiev, he got the best out of the first fight, getting the decision. In this fight right here, I think if Bivol wins, I think now we got a trilogy, right? But if Beterbiev wins, I would see Beterbiev and now Benavidez fighting.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, bro. That's a big crazy fight. And when you think about it, Benavidez waiting for that Canelo fight this whole time. Like, I want Canelo. He just fought one of the top dogs in Morel. Yeah. And now he's waiting on the big top dog in Beterbiev or Bivol. Yeah. If it's Beterbiev, bro, talking about he's going to be making history. I mean, he's going to make a big name and big statement, in regards of, okay, I'm not waiting for that fight, but I'm taking on the top dogs and I'm taking on the top fighters. Speaking of Benavidez. Yeah. And when that fight happens, if it happens against Beterbiev, bro, it's going to be an all-out action fight because they don't know how to go backwards. Either fighter.
No. Hey, here's my thing. Like, I'm going for Bivol. Not that I'm going for Bivol. I'm picking Bivol to win that fight. But as a fight fan, I would love to see Beterbiev and Benavidez because the styles just makes way more sense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because with Bivol and Benavidez, that's a great fight as well. But you already know that with Beterbiev and Benavidez, ain't nobody backing up.
And that's just us thinking that way. And it is going to be that way.
Oh, it's going to be just like that.
But I'm saying, and we will get David Benavidez, great friend of ours. We'll bring him to the show and ask him that question. Out of those two fighters, who would you prefer to fight? Because like you said, just answer. I think he would say, I would want Beterbiev because of the style. I think the clash would just be perfect as an entertainment. But as a fighter that beat Canelo, he wants to fight perhaps Bivol and beat him and be like, hey, I beat the guy that beat you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
and he, I don't know if he ever sparred Beterbiev, but he sparred Bivol.
He did.
I don't know who got the best out of that sparring session, but he sounded pretty confident.
they both gonna say that. You know what? I was really honest when it came to sparring sessions, and people ask me, "Hey, how'd you do with it?" Oh, he fucked me up. He messed me up. I would say because you don't win all sparring sessions. You know that.
I wasn't a big. I had my days.
Yeah, we all did. Yeah,
I had my days and where I liked to spar, and then I had my days where I really didn't care for sparring.
Thank you.
Know what I'm saying?
That's another topic.
We but then I'd rather not be the guy that loves to spar, and then when there's like camera action, he fold. There's a lot of dudes like that. You see him in the gym, like, yo, dude, sharp. And come fight time, it's a different kind of pressure, and they don't have the same skills. It's different.
I'm gonna tell you something. When I used to spar, and I used to love having Robert Garcia as my coach, because
shout out to Robert.
Shout out to Robert Garcia, one of the top trainer
of the year.
We'll bring him, man. We'll bring him to the show, man. He's got so much knowledge. And speaking of knowledge, when it was sparring sessions, he would prepare my sparring partner to imitate the style of the other fighter, obviously. But only that, okay, today we're working on the jab. I want you to throw jabs to Abner. Abner, cover that jab or slide or do whatever you can in this round. And that, because at the end of the day, it's not killing each other in the sparring sessions. It's learning and preparing yourself for a fight. Again, I don't know about you, but when I used to do big fights, I used to pay my sparring partners.
For sure.
So I'm not gonna pay them to beat me up. You get me? So I'm paying you for you to help me get ready for this opponent. So I hate all of those. I'm against all the because I used to see them back in the day with Floyd Mayweather. They used to call him the.
The round robins.
Yeah, when they used to fight, and there was like,
it'd be like 30 minutes straight up sparring, the first one to quit.
What's the purpose on that? There's no purpose on that. So shout out to Robert Garcia, because he always knew how to handle that. If it wasn't your day, he would realize it. He will notice it right away, first, second round. Like, Abner, get out of the ring. You're taking a beating. I was like, no, I'm good, coach. You as a fighter, you want to continue sparring. Like, no, it's not your day. Get out. So you don't want to get hurt.
Man, sparring is so important.
People don't know that.
I think if you got to pick something.
And you get hurt in the sparring, man. That's where I got my injury. My detached retina. It happened in the sparring session, not in an actual fight.
I think I got more injuries in sparring than actual fights, because you got to think about it, right? When you're doing a training camp, let's say for a championship fight, or, just high, you're already on that level of 10, 12 round fights. You got to think about it. Each camp is about at least 100 rounds. Sparring.
Easy.
So if you do the math, right, and you add that shit up from amateurs all the way to where you're at, that's thousands of rounds, bro.
Tell me,
it adds up to that shit.
Ask my wife. I forget everything now.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy, bro? So one of the worst injuries that I ever got in sparring, bro, was I was sparring this Filipino kid, powerful puncher. Forget his name, man. But I was getting ready for the Danny Jacobs
He hit you
fight.
that hard, you forgot his name.
Look, I was getting ready for the Danny Jacobs fight, right? And bro, we're like 3 weeks out, and I'm sharp, I'm feeling great, whatever, bro. And this dude, he was a southpaw, because sometimes Danny would switch righty and south. So we wanted the southpaw look. Dude, this dude threw a shot at my rib, bro. And the moment he hit me, I knew something was wrong. And I tried to gut it out. But when it was the next round, I was like, I'm not feeling right. Bro, that adrenaline is kicking, so you're not really feeling that pain.
Feeling at the moment,
Bro, when I'm driving to the hospital, because I know something's wrong, and that pain kicks in, dude, it was crazy.
So that's one of the worst.
I had a fractured rib, which is the equivalent of a broken rib. It's the same pain. Dude, I had to wear a brace. And I didn't spar for those last couple of weeks of the fight until the last week of the fight. That I did like a little quick 4-rounder, but I put the brace on.
See, and this is what tells you us fighters what we go through, man. See, he didn't just quit and be like, all right, I'm gonna call the fight off. No, he said, I put a brace on.
I put the brace on, right?
Hey, give me a week. I'll be back, coach.
So I put the brace on, right? And bro, I put the brace on. I did 4 rounds. And I told my coach, who was Freddie Roach, I said, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right, man. Let's just we good. So bro, part of the reason why I boxed Danny and kept the distance, and it worked for me so good. It worked for me so good in that fight, and I was able to jab. I was protecting my right rib, bro.
That's crazy.
And there was a point in the fight where Danny actually threw a shot right there, and he caught me, bro. And I was like, yo, bro. That's when you got to show the poker face.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. You can't let him know he hurt you.
That's when you look at the fighter real mean, and you lock in with. But that's when you felt that shot. So that was crazy, dude. That was crazy. Was one of the crazy injuries you had in sparring?
Well, my detached retinas, unfortunately. That's both detached retinas happen during sparring sessions. Yeah, and you feel it right away. Boom, you get hit, and then your eyes, you just start seeing wrong, black. You don't see anything from it. Like, yeah. It was bad. But yeah, just that, honestly. And no broken ribs, 2 bad eyes. That's it.
one that I did have was I tore my calf muscle in the first round, bro. I made a pivot, and this was going into the fight with Willie Monroe, who's a mover, and that was the co-main event on the Canelo versus Smith. And I was on the contract. I would fight Canelo next, get my win against Willie, and I fight Canelo next. So when the injury happened, it's like probably a month off, bro. Tore calf muscle, dude. Wrapped it up. I substitute running for swimming. I was just swimming laps, bro. I was like, we gonna get it through. Yeah, man. And then good thing that, what got me through the fight was in Dallas, they allow you to do a shot of cortisone for pain.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was good. I didn't feel pain, but then at the same time, I wasn't able to move as fast as I wanted to.
Of course, yeah.
It is crazy, man. It's boxing.
Adjustments, you got to make things that happen outside of the ring, outside of the actual fight during training sessions.
So the undercard for Beterbiev, Bivol, great undercard. You know what I'm saying? We got the heavyweights. We got Parker, Dubois. It's a great fight right there. Great matchup. You got Dubois. He beat AJ. And then you got Parker. He beat Wilder.
Yeah.
It's big, man. So these guys are fighting each other. I like that fight because Dubois, man, he showed adjustments and he showed a different style from when he had lost to Usyk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it's crazy because that fight should have been AJ and Wilder if they would have lost against those two opponents. You get me?
Exactly, man. But that fight can still happen.
It's gonna happen.
So I like in that fight, man. Even though Parker, he's a smart fighter, but I think right now Dubois becoming a champion.
You got the momentum going.
I think he has that momentum going. So I'm leaning towards Dubois, bro.
I'm with you on that one
for sure. And then we also have Schofield versus Shakur. Who's your guy in that one?
I like Shakur. Shakur, like you said, and we talked about him in the past. Like Shakur is just a phenomenal boxer, IQ fighter. I mean, he does everything right inside of the ring. Sometimes too correct. To a point where he makes the fight boring.
He's pretty much what the street science is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. People didn't like Mayweather's style because he would not like to get hit, and he would do anything and everything to prevent for that happening. And that's Shakur Stevenson. And I think this is one of those fights for him to showcase against his skill set, his IQ, and I hope this fight he gives us a little bit more to get that fan base. You get me?
Yeah.
Because hardcore fans love him because they respect of the IQ and the boxer that he is, but a lot of people don't like him because again, his style is not entertaining. So
for sure.
I hope he gives us a little bit more.
And and Schofield, I think Schofield's style,
he will make him pressure.
Aggressive.
Yeah, he will pressure.
He's aggressive. He wants to he wants to hit you with big shots.
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna come in aggressive, and it's gonna force Shakur to have to let his hands go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see it.
And I think
that's the style that Shakur loves.
Yeah. And shout out to Schofield for wanting this fight and asking for this fight, because I don't think it's really a fight that Golden Boy wanted for him.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Oscar wanted to go a different direction and kind of just slowly move yourself into that position. But it's like he wanted it, so he got the fight. So shout out to him for daring to be great. But I think Shakur is definitely the more seasoned fighter. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's going to be, you think knockout or you think decision?
It's hard to predict or say that, Shakur's going to get a knockout because he does not have that power punch power, but easy decision for Shakur, sure. I believe.
And then with Dubois and Parker, decision knockout?
Knockout. I see a knockout. I see a knockout.
I see a knockout. It's the heavyweight. It's the big dogs.
You got to give us a knockout. Come on.
Now, one of my favorite fighters.
Who's that?
Virgil Ortiz.
Top dog.
And he's fighting Madrimov. You know what I'm saying? And look, this ain't an easy fight for Virgil because Madrimov had his moments with Crawford.
Okay.
He had moments, bro.
Styles make fights. He got that jerky style. Yeah. He's moving. He's feinting. Yeah. He's throwing like 3 feints. And then he's throwing a shot, which is it's hard to catch a rhythm with a guy like that. So my thing is this, how do you think he styles? Again, I think, Styles make fights. So obviously against Crawford, 2 intelligent fighters fight from the outside, try to make the right move and trying to make you fall into a trap. That's what they do.
Yeah.
It made it a really difficult fight, a jerky type of fight, like you said, against Crawford. But Virgil is just an animal. He's the beast. He's just that, a guy that will break you down, chop you down, and will not make you feel comfortable in there. So I think Virgil will stop him. I think he will pressure him enough to put him on the ropes and put him in the position where he does not feel comfortable and get him out of there, either with an uppercut or body shot. That's how I see it.
You know what I mean? The thing is, I don't think Virgil, now I'm not saying that could be totally right, but I don't think Virgil is going to have the same problems that Crawford had.
Of course not.
Because Virgil
he does not give you time to think.
Going to walk you down. You know what I'm saying? Where I think Crawford was on his back foot in that fight and was trying to set traps, but it's hard to set traps with a guy that's throwing 3 feints at you. And
you don't know what's coming.
It has that style. Well, I think Virgil is just gonna come and press him.
He's gonna be the one putting the pressure.
He's gonna make Madrimov have to fight when Madrimov doesn't want to fight.
Again, you said it perfect. Madrimov felt comfortable in that fight against Crawford.
Yeah, because Crawford was fencing with him. Yeah.
And when you're gonna be put in a place where you're gonna feel uncomfortable against a pressure fighter like Virgil Ortiz. Not the same fight.
Yeah.
So Ortiz, my guy, seen him spar many times. Same thing. I saw him as a kid, with Robert Garcia when he started there. At a time when I was with Manny Robles, he was with Manny as well. Love him and his dad. Great team. Great human beings. He's got a lot of talent with the guitar as well. He loves his music, man. Shout out to Virgil Ortiz, and I hope he will win, and big things coming for him.
As far as me, Gallo, we're leaning a little bit towards Virgil.
Yeah.
Even though Madrimov has a difficult style, you know what I'm saying? Now, if Virgil was to be successful against Madrimov, how do you match him up with the champion, Crawford?
I like Crawford, but I also like Fundora fighting him.
Yeah. Fundora.
Yeah,
Shout out to Fundora.
Yeah, Fundora will be a great fight.
Two difficult styles.
I think he will have more trouble with Crawford because I feel that Crawford is a complete fighter, intelligent fighter that can do everything inside the ring. As far as Fundora, the difficult thing about him being tall, but really he never uses that reach or height, for his advantage. So it will make it a more interesting fight, a comfortable fight for Virgil Ortiz. Because again, Fundora is constantly pressuring you. They're throwing punches, head up high. Yeah. So I think it will be a lot more comfortable and easier fight. Not meaning that he could win. He can win, but Virgil and him will be a better fight.
Well, you know what? What impressed me about Fundora though was that he did box
against
Zoo.
But then again, I'm not taking anything away from
Zoo.
I'm not taking anything away from Fundora. Zoo had the cut.
Zoo had that crazy cut.
Yeah, let's not forget the first, second round. He was winning easy.
But what I like what Fundora did in that fight was that, Zoo was in a desperate situation where he needed the big shot. Yeah. And Fundora didn't give him the big shot by fighting his style, which his style was to stay in the pocket and just be banging with you and giving up your height. In that fight, he kept his height, he kept his distance, and kept Zoo out. Boom. Yeah. Boom. So I think that fight taught Fundora like, oh shit, I can dominate.
I can dominate. Yeah.
So I think it's just gonna make him. Man, that's difficult.
I get
bro.
you. I get what you're saying.
He's 6'2", right?
I saw it. Yeah, he's a big dude.
He's a big dude.
Yeah. But he never uses that reach, until that fight. Yeah. And that fight played out perfectly for him.
But I think the bell rang right there. I think for him, it was like, oh shit.
Zoo couldn't get in. He was blinded by his blood. Every time he tried to get in, like you couldn't see anything. And yes, Fundora was smart enough to start throwing that jab. It's like, oh yeah, this guy can't see. I'm gonna blind him even more with the jab. So he made the adjustments. He did what he had to do. Yeah. But against Virgil Ortiz is a whole different animal, bro.
No, he is.
Yeah, this guy's not going to be as easy to jab and keep him on the outside, and especially when you're not as comfortable and using those attributes that you have but never use.
Yo, man, you know what I love about Fundora, man, is his father's his trainer. Yeah. His sister a beast.
Oh, yeah, she is too. Shout out to the
shout out to the Fundoras. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they do camp in the sticks, bro. Like they're like away from everything, away from distraction.
Yeah, they're really dedicated. I love that.
It's a family biz
that.
Where they're just in together grinding, man. And I think that's so good for a fighter, man. when you know your family is your team and everybody's locked in. And I think that makes Fundora real dangerous, bro. Of
course.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have the distractions, you don't have this and that. You know what I mean? You're locked in with your pop in the camp, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of nowhere, away from distractions. So, you know, he has the skills, he has the height, he's a champion, but at the same time, man, he has a great team.
That he's got a great team, no doubt about that. Shout out to the Fundora family.
Same with Virgil.
Yeah, he trains 100%. Virgil as well. As a matter of fact, Virgil, I believe he overtrains. He overtrains, and that's why he's been sick. You know, a few times he's canceled his fights because he's overtrained. Literally, this is a true story.
Yeah,
I would see Virgil spar, get out of the ring. His dad will have him hit the heavy bag another 10, 5, 6 rounds, and then he was done with that. And his dad's like, get back inside the ring. Let's do some mitts.
Yeah.
Another 5, 6 rounds. Like, he would just, I'm not saying that overtraining, like, he's that, like, he would want his son to be 100%, a little bit past 100% ready. Yeah. So, these two guys, they all, of course, they train to the moment. They train for the moment. But there is such thing as overtraining, brother. So I think Virgil already learned that during his career.
Virgil's last fight was against Bogacek. Matter of fact, I was working that fight, and what I liked in that fight was they both stylistically was similar, right? They were banging.
Bro,
and
that was a good fight.
You know what I saw from Virgil? He made an adjustment. He went to the outside and he began to get, smooth and just let his jab out. And when I saw Virgil make that adjustment where, it's not the typical Virgil just banging, he's able to do different things. I said, damn, dude, like, that's a problem that he can box you too if he wants.
Isn't that a beauty when you're watching a fighter grow before your own eyes? Sure. Like, oh man, I've never seen Virgil do this, and especially against a hardcore fighter like Bohachuk. I've seen that guy, man. So aggressive, like he throws with every punch with bad intentions.
And that's how he chops you down. And that's how he got the knock. Yeah, that's how he got. He was able to counter that just because he started boxing and Bogacek was coming in aggressive. I just thought that was like, super dope to see him make that adjustment and not be doing the same thing over and over and over and over and expect a different result. He knew he had to do something different in order to really win this fight by a landslide. I love that.
I love that. Sure, he's growing as a fighter. Shout out to Virgil Ortiz. Yo, once again, thank you guys for tuning in. We were talking about the rematch against Beterbiev, Bivol, me Gallo, Beterbiev, your Gallo, Bivol. Let's see who wins, man.
Bivol, man. I got Bivol, bro.
Beterbiev all night.
We're going to see.
No crying.
Want to bet on it?
Let's do it.
Want to bet on it?
Let's do it.
What we going to bet?
Let's do
Let's bet dinner.
Dinner.
Steak dinner. All right, bet. Steak dinner on it.